Well, hello, folks. Welcome to Project Cars 2. I'm going to do a gear change show. This is not going to be me racing or anything like that. This is going to be me talking about stuff. Let me just turn the engine volume down. Because this engine, even though it's not 100%, gets really goddamn loud. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the turbine powered car that Pernelli Jones almost won the 19 the Indianapolis 500 with an all-wheel drive car. So a lot of you guys know this is a turbine car, had over 500 horsepower, and stuff like that. But that's not the real reason why I am running this car, because I'm going to talk about the whole EV, alternative energy thing that's kind of becoming a thing. And such like that. So yeah, ignore my horrible driving, but Texas's banking can be a little hard. So, and it's a single gear, so I can't really control the gears. So this was brought to my attention by my brother like a couple of days ago. So I just want to tell you guys that I'm still going to do electric vehicles and still delve into that. It's just that, where are we going as a nation with this whole EV thing? I understand we want to go electric. We don't want to rely on fossil fuel. But, what's to say that big government like the Biden administration or whatever Democratic administration won't be able to have control over the development of these vehicles? And now I understand that there's pros and cons to this whole EV, electric vehicle, if you will, revolution. On one end, yeah, I do want to find technology that's going to save the planet and give us sustainable transportation if and when fossil fuel becomes a problem to find and such like that. So, I definitely want us to be able to find renewable energy and but at the same time, it's kind of weird that these politicians want to pass this through, want to pass this agenda through, and literally really stick it to us that we need to buy EVs and it's the way of the future. It is, but it's the technology. I'm going to guesstimate that the technology isn't going to be perfected until somewhere around 2023. No, 2020, 2035, probably. We'll probably see it perfect around 2035, and we'll probably see them mainstream by, I don't know, 2045, maybe 2050, maybe. Because I still think there's a good chance that maybe there's a Republican president that really doesn't like sustainable energy. They don't think, or maybe they don't want big energy companies to lose that ground, because there's some You know, there's some ones that that don't want to. There's some big energy companies like ExxonMobil and Shell and Sunoco. You know, these are and Texaco, which is operated by Citgo. You know, Citgo is operated by by subsidiary of the PDVSA, which is PDVSAVA, which is yeah, Petroleum de Venezuela SA. I forget what it means. It's like the incorporated thing, insignia over there, over in a lot of countries, and you know, these companies are not going to give up their ground easily because you know, they're making billions of dollars off us wanting fuel for our cars, and they don't want to die out. Because while the well's dry, you know, they won't want to give up their edge because, you know, that's their livelihoods at risk. And big oil will not give up their power as easy as you think. And there's people in this state that want to combat climate change, and there's an attorney general that's running for office right now, and she's backed by Michelle Wu and Elizabeth Warren and one other person, I think Ed Markey or something like that. But that's not a person you want as an attorney general, because you want them to I understand they don't want to fight, but they want to fight big corporations and stuff like that. But I guess she's taking on Starbucks, Uber, Walmart, and a couple other ones. But to be honest, I don't think those big companies really care all that much, because even if they get sued like $10 million, they're just going to make that up in about 2 seconds. So it doesn't matter to them. To them, she's a minnow, and she's a minnow compared to their power, and they don't care 1 inch. So, I'm praying to dear God, Reardon does not get in. That'd be bad for all of us, because she's like, oh, I want to fight climate change. I'm going to fight big oil companies. I'm going to fight corporate greed. I'm like, it's going to be there no matter what. Corporate greed is a thing in this country. So I don't know what people are squawking about. I've dealt with it. It's a thing. It's a necessary. While we hate them, they actually help. They actually sell goods. They actually make our economy what it is. It's kind of a necessary. It's kind of a necessary evil in a way. So, yeah. And you got to remember at the end of the day, these companies employed me when I was younger, so you know, I understand this is the reason why they got to operate. There's some aspects there's some aspects in your own business that you can change, and there's someone that you don't need a politician for. Like, I personally didn't need anybody to help me fight Target when I was helping out April, of course, and I don't need a lawyer representing me, because I'm not wasting the money just to take down one guy or change a bunch of stuff. That's stuff I can do on my own. I mean, me having a social work degree, I better be able to do stuff on my own. But yeah, now getting into electric vehicles. You know, I think that they're pretty cool. I think that the appeal of them is It's I mean it's accidentally brought back Cadillac in the coach building. They're building the Celestiq, and it's going to be $300,000 and probably a 500 horsepower. But you know, that's Cadillac for you. And Tesla and all these other companies are, you know, trying to change the environment, or trying to help the environment without having to, you know, fight people or take down this person, take down this person. I mean, Musk himself is setting the benchwork for the groundwork for the big three to just, you know, set up a hostile takeover, you know, of the electric vehicle market. You know, it's just, I think they're very cool. I think they've got their dangers to them, like you can't hear them when they're taking off. I mean, the other day I was in the parking lot coming back from break, and I went by one, and the guy started the car up, and I saw the lights, and I saw the car lights, and I moved out of the way pretty fast. So, you know, because it's scary how it's just scary how these electric companies are just are developing at a frightening pace, you know. But at the same time, I think it's very cool that guys like Musk and some Lucid and a couple of these other companies are now going full EV because they want to show people the wave of the future, and people want to know where their future's going, and like they want to know that people are actually going to be part of that appeal. The only thing I don't like is that this technology is somewhat exploitable in many ways. I was talking to my brother the other night about this two weeks ago, and it's exploitable, and it's also usable for means that we don't intend them for. What I mean by that is people might be able to actually hack these cars, shut them off. I mean, it's a scary thought that the government was able to tap our phones at one point during the Bush era, and now we are able to now remotely shut down cars. And people have been able to do that for a while with immobilizer alarms, but to remotely shut them down is kind of freaky. I mean, here's the scary thought. If the government doesn't like you, and you're driving down the road, and you're going to a busy intersection, it'd be a very, very, very scary thought that they could hack the controls, push the accelerator, and make you crash into the car, unhook your seatbelts, and cause you to crash and die. That's the scary bit of all this. So, I'm just going to say, everybody, word of the wise, you know, these things are cool, but at the same time that they're very, very scary. Like, and if they want to, they can use it to, they can use it to remotely, and cars are going to be self-driven soon, so people can remotely steer your cars and deliver them to themselves, or a stalker or an abuser who's very tax savvy will be able to lock you in the car and drive you, especially all the women out there. So this is the reason why it's a little iffy on how all this is working out, you know. So time. Boom. 34. Oh, shoot. Put this in neutral. And another thing, while we're on it, motorsport. This is actually very, very good. My brother even pointed this out to me even beforehand. It's very possible to sound effects volume. So I'm going to completely turn the engine noise off, and it'd be freaky if this was all we heard. Now, let me just. Yeah, so it's quite freaky how motorsport's going to be also involved, because I like cars that actually make noise. Everybody else knows I'm a gearhead. Everybody knows that like a small block V8 or a high revving Japanese V6 or something like that. But it's one of those things where you're just sitting there going, okay, so let me. Alright, so I'm going to do a screw it for Benetti. Alright, so I'm going to do this, but yeah, it's really funny because, a lot of people are like, oh, this is the way of the future. This is going to be a cool thing. I tell people, I'm like, no, folks, it's going to be boring hearing the cars go versus vroom. I didn't even change my car. What the hell are you doing, man? Okay, I'm gonna have to bounce out of this. Bounce out of this again, and Racer Chaser did a 2 minute 30 seconds. Somebody must have really had their Wheaties one day. But yeah, come on, game, please load. I'm going to show you guys what it would sound like if the cars were able to go 230 miles an hour, and what it would sound like as an EV, Alright, let me take this off. So yeah, I mean, it'd be a scary thought, and with the automation and all this other stuff. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. I love the EV. I think it's a great idea. I think it's cool as can be. I mean, for goodness sake, I really like the idea of a car like that. But you know, it's you know, the technology is there. It's just not going to be implemented, mass produced, and all that other mother jazz. And you know, it's personally, I think it's cool that cars are going to be able to out accelerate the modern ones. Muscle cars are going to be a thing of the past. So what I'm going to say, in the next 10 years to the next 20 years, I'm going to say next 27 years, I'm going to say that the gas engine probably won't be completely out of the picture until 2050. I want to say that because the way how things are going, the gas companies are not going to give up their power unless these Democrats, who are basically morons, just want to oh, we got to save the planet and everything. I'm just going to tell you guys, if we could slow down the we can slow down the effect of the greenhouse. If we were going to slow down the effectiveness of the greenhouse problem, we should have been doing it like 30, 40 years ago, not like now. Many years later, you know, where it's a little too late. You know, I just think it's absurd how these Democrats just sit there like, oh, we're gonna reverse this and reverse that. It's already been done, folks. The polar ice caps are melting. Their chances of them coming back are slim and none. You know, it's just gonna progressively happen. But I think at this point, it's more of the sustainability of the environment and having the ability to imagine this for 24 hours. I couldn't imagine this for 24 hours. Yeah, I couldn't imagine this for 24 hours. It would be boring as hell after like one. Like, they're not making any noise. Coming over the hump, the little Mulsanne kink. I'm surprised I didn't lose traction there. Come on, don't. Did I put damage on? I don't think I did. Come on. Nope, I put damage on. Alright, I just wanted to... Alright, so I'm going to... Alright, Stoller. Put him first. But yeah, you imagine this for 24 hours, listening to this. You know, a freaking hay bale, and you'd be able to hear the crash of the engine, crash of the car. You know. Oh. I'm just wrecking on purpose just to show you guys just to show you guys comedic effect. You know. But yeah, so. Oh yeah, hearing the gear changes. Listen to this. White House is coming up. But yeah, it'd be weird listening to this. Just listen to this. White House. Mais en Blanche.
We need cool air into the radiators. Your engine's overheating.
But yeah, this would be scary, wouldn't it? At this rate. Yeah. Just imagine listening to this for 24 hours in a stick straight car. Here we go. Imagine doing this, 232. Oh, shoot. Wow. I'm still doing 190. Oh, shoot. Imagine racing like this for 24 straight hours, no noise, as I launch into another earth bank. I'd rather listen to this all day in racing, any day, every day. I'm not going to talk. I'd rather listen to this. Yeah, so I'd rather listen to this. Rather listen to this thing go flat out. Oh, who else? So yeah, I would much rather this. Yes, I'd much rather this than an EV. So yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit here, and so yeah, I just wanted to say, guys, that it kind of EVs are kind of good. They're kind of cool that they're coming. It's cool that they look. I mean, I've ridden into Teslas. They're amazing cars. They ride smooth. They're very good. You don't hear a whole lot of noise. It's kind of, you get to feel every bump. It's kind of freaky, but I wouldn't put my life on it, all day long, because there's other things in life, you could be doing. You could have much more. You could have much better fun with. It's just not. It's just not my cup of tea. To say that, oh yeah, we gotta do this, this, and this because we gotta act now or we'll lose. We gotta act now or we'll lose the environment and stuff like that. I mean, it can be stopped, but there's other theories that maybe the Far East is controlling the weather, and maybe they're just doing it so we'll all do this climate change, so we'll spend more money, so we'll be part of this whole thing. It's part of the whole control the world and make us all sheep, that sort of thing. So I want to work on EVs, but I don't want to, and hybrids, but I don't want to make them dominate, the I don't want them to dominate the landscape, so to speak, because I think since we have the hybrid technology, we can definitely make engines stay around, the gas engines stay around. I think that's the reason why endurance racing has, thank God, embraced hybrid technology and not full on. And I'm not going full on. Sit there like, oh, we're gonna do full on. We're gonna do full on electric cars. People like Roger Penske, and because IndyCar is not going to go, not because IndyCar is going to go hybrid. IndyCar will never go EV. There's no way. Too much money there with manufacturers and stuff like that, and it's already much of a spec series as it is, you know. So I mean, could you imagine not having an engine sound like this? Turn up the volume of this V12 because, folks, this is kind of like what they're trying to get rid of, these great sounds. So yeah, I mean, we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose. You know, the infrastructure like this, and so you know, NASCAR's not going to go hybrid because NASCAR might go hybrid. Who knows? NASCAR is thinking of putting a cup car, a next gen cup car in the 24-hour race next year in the Garage 56 program. So that means that NASCAR is going to stay burning fossil fuel, but also trying to save the environment. Because we got to clean up our air, because there's one thing that I just want to say: we got to clean up the air and the environment, because what that's going to help us do. And now here's some of the plus sides of cleaning the environment. One, if we push the technology, we'll make it cheaper, we'll make it easier to produce. We'll also be able to cut pollution, which will eliminate sickness, illnesses. People won't get poisoned. People won't have their nervous systems bust down. Their bodies will be able to function, because one killer of pollution, especially here in Boston, if you lived in Lynn, Chelsea, or Cambridge, chances are you in the 80s and 90s, chances are you were affected by some form of pollution, poisoning, or some other things. So that's one thing that this is trying to do, and we don't want a smog fest like Los Angeles and Tokyo and China and Los Angeles, and also Texas gets a little hazy because there's a lot of fossil fuel and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of oil refineries down there, so of course it's hazy. We don't want to have that happen to Boston, because Boston is one of those G40 cities that's going to be more environmentally friendly, more environmentally stable, more friendly to the environment. It's also gonna help out with healthcare, because if there's less poison from fossil fuel, and the environment, smog, and all this other stuff, people are going to get sick less. The air will be cleaner, be everything. Everybody will be able to live a little bit happier life, somewhat. So there are ups and downs to the whole EV, electric vehicle / hybrid debate. I just want to say that for those people who want EVs and want to have them because they want to be part of this, because they want to help out the planet and not these politicians, amen to you. But if you want to help out these politicians and you want to get sucked into their goals, just say, oh yeah, I'm doing what Joe Biden and what Shanice Reardon and Michelle Wu and Elizabeth Warren, just crime, just go away. I don't want to listen to you. If you buy an EV or you buy a hybrid, it's to be part of our part of the environmental, slow down the environment, break down the ozone layer, the environment, and the pollution and all this other stuff. If you're here to save the planet and make it more livable for us all by doing that, amen to you. But if you're just here to just promote the politicians and oh yeah, I have a hybrid, so I'm part of the top class, I'm the best guy around, you guys are all dinosaurs, having your gas engines. That's another thing I want to point out. Just because you have a hybrid doesn't mean that you're the top class, you're a smarter thinker, because there's not too, and there's also not too many charge ports. And also if you charge it on your house, your electric bill is going to be higher. So while the gas companies aren't going to benefit, or don't think the gas companies are going to benefit, here's a small little thing for you. The electricity that we burn is actually generated by fossil fuel and by the production of fossil fuel. Because where do you think the electricity comes from? Obviously, there's plants that make the gas, which have electricity. And it's a whole cycle. It's sickening how the whole cycle goes. A lot of people think you guys are saving the environment, but the generators and the machines and all this other stuff, all this requires energy that we need from gas, especially generators in order to power this. It's a complete nightmare show how much people think they're saving the environment, and what's even worse is some of these EVs, all the mining, and plus all the mining that has to be done, all the mining that has to be done to put the stuff that goes into the batteries, and how it has to be shipped into the batteries, refined, which is release more chemicals into the air. So a lot of people think that you're saving the environment, but in order to make this happen, we have to spend fossil fuel. We have to release chemicals into the environment that we don't want, and so it's not all. So they'll do. So chances are the reason why they're saying this, but they're not telling you, oh, it's causing this problem, this problem, this problem. So, but hopefully what'll happen is over time, that damage that we did, we'll be able to slow it down, and so in the next 10-15 years. So I just want you guys to give food for thought that this is not going to be an instant fix. And it could take years, maybe hundreds of years, for the environment to straighten itself out. It could take millions of years for this to happen. Which by the time it'll happen, I'll probably be in the ground in a casket underground. But after I have a successful automotive career doing EVs and all this other stuff, so know that you're contributing to the global breakdown, just to make those hybrids and all these lithium-ion batteries and all this other stuff. And then they're going to have to find ways to refine the chemicals and come up with the chemicals in a laboratory, and that won't be harmful to the environment. So the more money we throw into it, the more we'll do less environmental damage that'll be interesting to see as well. So I just wanted to give you guys a food for thought. I think the EV movement is great, but I think it's, it's going to take beyond my lifetime for this all to straighten out. So, and I could be part of the whole thing that could start it, because I probably, given life expectancy, is going to be probably at 79, 80, maybe even more. Since I'm like 36, I'll probably be on the planet to probably 2075, 2080, give or take. So I will see the whole thing trend. I'll be part of the groundwork to the future, but I won't see the way how the environment will, unless I cryogenically freeze myself like Austin Powers, and I come in a different decade, and I come out in a different decade. But I want to live a whole life, and I want to be freezing myself and stuff like that. So I just want to give you guys a where the wise. I like the EV movement. I think it's a great thing, but it's, there's pros and cons to it. So I'm definitely going to go for automotive, because I do like the gasoline powered cars and stuff like that. But it'll be nice to see how it progresses, and if we have the right leaders that will say, okay, we need to cut down our greenhouse emissions and stuff like that. Because if we can cut down how much we spend at the pump, we can save money. We can have more money in our wallets. We can. I think the government should keep tax credits on these vehicles, so that we can save more money. So that we can save a tax credit. I think they should reintroduce it. If we had the car a certain amount of years, I think we should be at a tax credit for it over the course of the ownership of a vehicle and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how it all goes, and what the future is. So there's going to be benefits, because so yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to be this one to do. This is Mike Camo here for the Automotive Radio Show, here for a gear change show. Just a happy EV talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, folks.